Hello everybody and welcome to Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma episode 12, season 5, episode 12, anime review. Not the final episode. Wasn't aware we were going for 13, but I guess we're going for 13, which is good. Next episode is called Shokugeki no Soma, which is always a good thing when they do. Every series should end their series on the title of the show. It just makes sense. But anyway, yeah, this episode, sort of an episode of two halves. We dealt with the fallout of, Soma and Asahi's match, and then we got, I guess, the preview, not preview, but like the preamble to the final match between the winner of that match, who I guess I won't say just in case you haven't seen it yet for some reason, and Erina. So that's pretty goddamn exciting. It was I think these last few episodes have been better. Like, obviously there was some bollocks at the beginning with the gifting, which we'll get to, but for the most part, they kept the supernatural bollocks out of it, and it was pretty alright, I thought. Like, they've not pulled it around completely towards the end, but it's better than like it was in like the middle. In my honest opinion, people might disagree, but like, this is the worst it's ever been. But what can I say? Just giving my thoughts, I guess. Let's get into the episode, see how everything went down, and do this thing. We begin with Mana's reaction to each of the dishes, Asahi's and then Soma's. The gifting happens, but this isn't any ordinary gifting. Azami's there, he's like, no, this is different. Well, how is it different, I wonder? Well, let's find out. So it transmits the bursting as opposed to the disrobing. So instead of people's clothes flying off, their clothes explode for Soma's, because it's better. This is the divine gifting. It's very powerful. It's just stupid bollocks, isn't it? Let's be real. I was alright with the gifting, but now there's different levels to the gifting, and it's just like, okay, but why though? You're just adding things you don't need to. Also, because, it's a second level, it also kind of took the tension about who was going to win, because I honestly thought it could have gone either way, but, I mean, this made it pretty obvious. They think that means that Soma's is better than Asahi's, obviously. Mana explains why. She's like, Asahi, your dish was empty on the inside, whereas Soma's was filled with all the memories and everything he's learnt from now. He's a good boy, he is really. No part of himself in his dish was Asahi's. Soma, what does Soma say? It's like, despite the fact you've beaten my dad, I still think he's way stronger than you. And it's like, oof, that's gotta hurt. And then, your boy, Yukihiro Soma, wins the day. Feels like the final battle, but it isn't. You got to remember it's not. Soma wins is the gist of it, and it's like, glad you enjoyed it, as he often says. They're going to end the series on that, aren't they? That's going to be the last line. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because of course it is. That just makes sense. Of course it is. Asahi tries to return Joichiro's knife, and Soma says, nope. You beat him fair and square. You've earned the right to keep that. Me beating you doesn't undo that, basically, and that's true. He says, hey, why did you want to marry Erina so badly anyway? We get a little brief flashback of Joichiro telling him the same thing he told Soma. Find someone you want to dedicate all your cooking to. That's how you become really good at mastering your cooking. But what he starts saying is like, oh yeah, because of the God Tongue, I can, world domination, all that bollocks. And Soma sees right through that. He's like, no, I think you were after something else. Searching... what is it? He leaves, and then as he's walking, we see like him flash of the Yukihiro family. It turns out he probably just wanted a family, which is, I feel bad for him now. I mean, he's still a prick, but I feel sort of bad for him. Joichiro shows up and he's like, one day you'll find what you're after. Just basically, okay, like, hopefully he does. Hopefully he turns it around one day. And he says, no matter what, I'm your cooking dad, basically. I'm your cooking daddy, basically, which is a nice thing. He tells his associates works better. We'll go with associates. He tells his associates that he's quitting Noir, and they're all like, all right, we'll come with you then. So, he's got some loyal minions, I guess. Good job there, Asahi. And then they go with him, and then off in the distance on the balcony, Tsukasa is all like, oh yes, they've taught me I can be better too, not to get complacent because he lost, so now he can get better. So everybody's getting better. Well, almost everybody. There's one person in particular that is not gone off the deep end, but she's not doing great. All the friends are congratulating Soma in their like bathrobes, because remember, all their clothes exploded. Hope they weren't wearing anything expensive. That would be bad. Everyone congratulates Soma. Mana Skype calls in to say this dish still wasn't good enough for my expectations. Do better in the fighter. I'm like, I don't even know how he can do better. How's he going to do that? Because I got no idea. He greets Erina. He's like, yeah, let's go, final round. And Erina just walks past him without saying anything. She's got the shadows over her eyes. She's in her own head a little bit and is in no mood to cooperate with Team Friends, which is bad because Team Friends are pretty great. Azami goes to see Mana and they bicker a bit very quickly, like I was gonna say like an old married couple, but yeah, that's pretty accurate actually. We see how they met. She called his dish awful because he was feeling bad. He had an empty dish. It's sort of similar a little bit, and then he was like, well, I'm gonna make you like my cooking. Sort of like how Soma is with Erina. You remember she was all like disgusting. He was like, well, can't be having that. Sort of a similar thing, although not quite the same, but similar enough to see the comparisons. He wanted to cook something to defeat her, basically. She returned his passion for cooking, and everything was great, Everything was awesome. They were happy. They had a kid, Erina, little baby Erina, saying this is bad for my taste buds. That's nightmare fuel. It reminded me a little bit of that anime airing at the moment with the dude who can like speak when he's just been born. I haven't seen the show, I'll be honest, but it looks real memey. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. But yeah, when Erina had the god tongue too, that sort of sent Mana off the deep end a little bit because she realised, hey, now I know my daughter's gonna suffer with this as well. At first it was like, all right, it was just her. That's not fine, but you get what I'm saying. But then when you find out your daughter's gonna, that kind of sort of spread up her despair, I guess, is sort of how I see it. And she left and everything. Feels bad. They're a very dysfunctional family and everything. But after that, Joichiro and Senzaemon show up as well in the present world, I guess, with Asahi. Mana's there. Mana basically tells them, yeah, Asahi, his food tasted familiar. It tasted like yours did, empty on the inside. So I think they were sort of implying that Asahi might be related to them, related to Azami, because they were like, a bit strange for an absolute stranger to taste exactly the same. So either they're saying they're very similar, or they're sort of saying they're related. Like, is he like his nephew or something? Did he shag some random bird and get a son out of nowhere? I have no idea. That seemed to be what they were implying, was that they were related. Like, that's sort of what I got from it. That or you're very similar, go help the boy out. One of those two things is sort of how I look at it. Not too sure though, could be completely off. We then go to Erina brooding, and she does a lot of brooding. Now, before she was considering letting Asahi win, now she's considering letting Soma win, but she's defiant in that. She's like, no, it has to be me. I gotta do it, gotta create something myself, can't rely on Soma. That's good, you shouldn't be reducing her to relying on Soma to win. That's not Erina. Erina doesn't do that. But yeah, Erina never had a dish called delicious. Mana wasn't like outright cruel to her. She wasn't taking a bite and spitting it in her face. She was just like, oh yeah, that's very good. Good job, Erina, But Erina could tell, it's not got through to her. So feels bad basically. Thinks only then she starts being all depressed. She's like, I can never make her happy. I can only make her sad. And it's just like, Erina, come on, you're not gonna win like this. I sort of hope Erina does win in a way. Like, logically, Soma should win, but I feel like Erina needs to win because then, hey, if she creates a dish that makes her mum happy, that's like her goal, right? She's done. Like, what does Soma get by winning this other than just, oh, I won a tournament, Kind of think Erina should. God, is Erina going to win? I sort of talked myself into Soma is definitely going to win, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Erina might win, Erina might get snapped out of it by Soma. I think what they could possibly do is a draw. Like, we'll get to it. No, I'll say it now. What the hell? So I think Soma will finish first, and he'll be like the appetizer. Like, similar to what they did in the first thing. Like, I think Soma will make a dish to complement Erina's dish, and together they'll make like a meal that'll, be something the world's never seen before. But like not like directly working together, but like I think Soma will do that, and then So then, like, it'll be like a draw. They'll be like, both of you did it together, and that's why it was so good. So I could be wrong on that. That feels like, is it a cop-out ending? They might do that. I have no idea. I just thought of that. But then, yeah, Soma reminisces on all the times with Erina, and we go through it all, and it's like, bloody hell, we've had that moment when he was reflecting. I was like, oh, we're at the end, aren't we? You know, despite how a bit naff I felt this whole season has been as a whole, it is still the final. We are like bringing it to an end, which is a bit like, it is still a thing that gets you. Like, oh, you know, it's been like what, 5 years? It's been a lot of years, and it's like, yeah, it's not been bad, has it? It's been a good time, really. The finals begin, and Shinzaemon mentions this generation of prodigies plan. I'm like, what the hell is that? We'll get the explanation very briefly. The theme for the final is a dish the world has never seen before. Setting your standards very high there. So what, if you've made something that the world's seen before, do you just get disqualified? Like, real talk. Like, that's a very hard thing. They can see, well, the smart ones can see that Erina is a little bit off in her cooking. It's like she has no idea what she's going to cook. She's like cooking on instinct, just making things. But she doesn't have a plan. She doesn't have an end goal. She's just, I guess, going to throw things together and see what works. Which, of course, is a terrible thing to do. You might stumble upon something great, but more likely than not, you're going to get like Soma's squid things that he made before, remember? Not good. So Shinzaemon's plan, the prodigy plan, basically is to save Erina from the same despair Mana felt. He went against tradition, sent her to Totsuki, even though you're not supposed to do that, apparently. That's like a Nakiri family tradition, is don't send him to Totsuki. He was like, right, she's got to go to Totsuki. He gathered a bunch of talented chefs. We see him and his associates go around to all the places. They get like Hayama, Ryu, just getting everybody that we've seen, the Albinis, Megumi as well, like just anybody they could find that is somewhat talented in together for this 1 year of Totsuki. All of it for Erina, including Soma, we see. Shinzaemon was the one that saw his fail and tested his food and was like, no, he gets in. Which is good, because otherwise we wouldn't have very much of a show. But yeah, I like that a lot. It was like, okay, it did seem like there was a disproportionate amount of talented individuals from all over the world here. Now it makes a bit more sense, Erina is doing her cooking and she's being all like, has to be me, gotta be me, I gotta make something. But then she's like, but can it be me? Can I even do this, man? She doesn't believe in herself. And then she starts getting even extra. She's like, I can never be happy. I'm gonna fall into the same despair my mum's in. It's like, Erina, cheer up, love. Soma, though, the light in the darkness, eats her food and is like, this is a bit crap, really, Erina. You gotta do better. Like, how am I meant to... He calls it boring. He's like, how am I gonna be satisfied beating you when you're looking like that and you're making crap like this? Come on, be better. It's like, all right, I know what I'm gonna make. And then he, gets to it, and then it's... Yeah, he gets to it. And that's where we ended, if I remember right. The one thing I haven't mentioned, like, at all this season, is the credits. The ending animation credits, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they've been changing the whole time. The bit when they go, crossing a road, that bit, where it shows, like, different characters every time. This time it was Soma and Erina. And, it showed Asahi, and Megumi at one point, Asahi and Soma. Basically, depending on who's having matches in that round, it changes. And I like little changes like that. Also, the bit at the end in the wasteland where it's been Soma chasing Asahi this whole time. This time Soma is chasing Erina. So little things in the ending credits as well, which is always a nice thing. But that was the end of the episode. Next week, I guess we're gonna get the final, well, most of the final. It's not really started yet. Soma, I think Soma's dish, either what I said before, they're gonna have a combined dish that's gonna make a dual pass basically, or Soma is gonna basically use his dish to sacrifice his dish to get Erina back to normal, and then she's gonna win. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking Erina's gonna win. Like, I was all Soma's gonna win, but now I've been convinced that Erina's gonna win. I guess these last couple matches have been a bit more unpredictable, because that's the thing that the earlier matches suffered with, was like, oh, well, Erina's gonna win, and Asahi's gonna win, and Soma's gonna win, like, they're gonna get towards the end. So that was pretty obvious. But no, let's see where this goes, because I'm I'm curious to see if we get at least a satisfying ending out of this, because personally I thought season 4's ending was serviceable. It was fine, obviously that wasn't the ending, but if it had been, that would have been fine, I think. But let's see what we get here, because I'm curious. But anyway, that's next week. What was my favorite part, of this week's episode? A lot to choose from. I considered Asahi becoming more human, but then I actually no, screw Asahi, I don't like him very much. So what I decided on was just Senzaimon's plan, bringing everyone together, because I did always think it was a little weird. It's like how many specialists there seem to be at Totsuki. Like, yes, every generation had their elites, but there was a lot of them, and I guess it's just, at first I just narrowed it down to, it's just because it's the main character's year group, it makes sense. But it's nice to have an in-plot explanation as to why so many good people are in the same place, which is pretty good. I honestly thought that Soma wouldn't have been one of them at first, and he was the surprise, but no, Soma was also picked, which was very interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed that reveal. It was a thing. I also liked the Soma reflecting on, everything he's done with Erina, but I don't think I could really consider that my favourite part of this episode, because it was all stuff from previous episodes that kind of feels like cheating. But no, I think these last few episodes, I've been enjoying the show a lot more. I'd say as a whole, I'm not a fan of season 5, but towards the end it's been better. Now let's hope they stick the landing, which obviously they probably won't. I'm not getting my hopes up, but hopefully we'll get something at least satisfactory, and that's the most I'm hoping for at this point. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care. And bye, guys.